tracking. Again, fortunately, his symptoms are not severe and he is doing well.
And there's only one confirmed case in the United States up in Washington state. But as we have learned, a certain strain of the virus is no stranger to the coastal bend. Only on 6 tonight, our Ashley Portillo spoke to a family whose young child successfully fought the virus.
Well, Katia, that little girl was only 4 years old when she contacted a common strain of the coronavirus. It was a very scary time for her family, especially after they heard about that deadly virus spreading across China. But a local doctor I spoke to says not to be alarmed.
I know how to do it fast.
Isis Montoya is just like any 5-year-old now, but in October of 2018, she was at Driscoll Children's Hospital battling a case of coronavirus with her mother by her side.
The lights were hurting her eyes and she was throwing up and she was not eating, no drinking, no nothing like that.
Isis was in the hospital for 4 days with symptoms like a high fever and body aches.
It just hurt. It hurt bad.
It turns out the coronavirus strain Isis contracted is common and much less severe than the deadly strain spreading across China. In fact, Driscoll Children's Hospital's Dr. Jaime Fergie says from 2011 to 2017, nearly 1,200 children from the coastal bend tested positive for common coronavirus strains, making it the 4th most common virus seen at the hospital.
Coronavirus is one of the most common respiratory viruses here and anywhere in the world.
The new coronavirus spreading across China seems to be much more dangerous and deadly.
So the concern is that, okay, this one appears to be very severe.
But eventually, Isis made a full recovery after contracting the common strain. Healthy, happy, and back to her normal self.
I like to play tag. I like to play rock, paper, scissors.
And she likes to dance too.
But I know how to.
And Dr. Fergie also mentioned because the coronavirus spreading across China is so new right now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are the only agency that can test for it. Katia.
All right, Ashley Portillo, thank you for that. And for the updates on the spread of the coronavirus, be sure to visit our website at christv.com. And continuing coverage tonight on David Strickland trying to appeal his life sentence for shooting 2 young women in a Portland park 8 years ago, killing one of them.
Now, his appeal was rejected this morning, and we have reaction on that from the prosecutor who secured the capital murder conviction on Strickland. Our Seth Kovar spoke with the San Patricio County District Attorney today. Seth.
Sure did. District Attorney Sam Smith says he's very glad that the 13th Court of Appeals rejected David Strickland's appeal this morning. He says Strickland's attorney brought to the court 27 reasons why they think he deserved a new trial. The court didn't agree with any of them. It was a crime that got national attention. 2 young women bound, one of them raped, both of them shot in the head in a city park in Portland. One of those women, Molly Olgan, died. Christine Chapa survived but was left with permanent injuries. Sending David Strickland to prison for life in 2016 for the horrendous act was a victory for San Patricio County District Attorney Sam Smith, a victory an appeals court reaffirmed this morning.
It reinforces the notion that the jury who decided this had the sufficient evidence to find him guilty.
Chapa's father told me he was happy with the appeals court decision, but their family attorney advised them not to talk to the media. I tried to talk to Olgan's family too, but wasn't able to reach them. Smith spoke to both families.
I would hope that at least brings them some relief from the anxiety of knowing that it was appealed and could possibly be tried again.
It means Strickland, barring a higher court overruling today's decision, will never again be a free man. Something Smith says makes us all a little safer.
In my opinion, a very frightening person. Anyone that would shoot 2 young girls in the head, try to kill both of them, kill one, is certainly someone that is a danger to the community.
I spoke to Strickland's mother on the phone tonight. She said the family will continue moving forward, trying to set their son free. They say he's innocent, and they say they want the real killer brought to justice. Lee?
All right, thank you very much, sir. Well, some new developments today in the search for a suspect in the murder of a Rockport woman. Earlier today, Aransas Pass police released these images of the metal toolbox where the body of 29-year-old Rebecca Ann Maloney was found. This was discovered over on Railroad Street there, just north of East Wheeler Avenue on Tuesday evening. Police say Maloney's family had not seen her in several days and that she'd been dead for several hours when her body was discovered. Now, if you recognize this toolbox or you know something about it, you're asked to call police at the number you see there on the screen.
Corpus Christi police are on the hunt tonight for a man that robbed the Burger King at Horn Road and Crosstown. Police say he waited outside until employees took out the trash, and that's when he pulled out a gun and got away with an undisclosed amount of money. Police say the suspect does match the description of a man that robbed a local massage parlor earlier that day. Today, an initiative to get a head count on the homeless population here in Corpus Christi was held, which is going to determine how much federal money is given for area programs. And Chris 6 News anchor Paula Salazar joins us live right now to tell us how this head count is going to work. Palo.
Hey, Katia, I'm here at Agnes near the Crosstown Expressway where many of the homeless will gather. And they actually do a point-in-time count, the city does, that will give them an idea of just how many area homeless there are. And those figures are crucial when it comes to funding.
Well, I just don't have money to rent a room or to get into a house. I had a room in Austin, Texas, but I'm here now.
Money, drugs, and mental illness are just some of the reasons people like Martha end up living on the streets. And with the homeless population growing, the programs that help them are more important now than ever before. The Homeless Issue Partnership, in association with the Texas Homeless Network and community volunteers, conducted a point-in-time homeless count, which correlates to federal funding for several county programs.
For housing programs, for nonprofit shelters, for transitional programs, any kind of program you can think of, it all comes from the government funding.
Data is collected through a 35-question survey to get an idea of what barriers the homeless face and what the gaps are in the services offered. It's an initiative many in the community are getting behind.
The funding can play into making changes and closing the gaps in services to the people who are homeless.
The goal is to help those like Martha get off the streets. But for those not taking advantage of the services offered, getting ahead can be difficult.
It's hard to get a job when you're from another city. And if you don't have the right clothes or the right temperament.
And the Homeless Issues Partnership started their count today, and they'll only use today's figures in their data. However, they will be in town through Sunday to get a more accurate head count, and those numbers will be made available to the public once they're compiled. On Agnes, Paula Salazar for Chris 6 News.
On day 2 of the opening arguments in the impeachment trial for President Trump, the House impeachment managers hammered on Article 2, the one that accuses the president of abusing his power by pressuring the Ukraine to investigate his political rivals.
You can think of these as the ABCs of high crimes and misdemeanors: abuse, betrayal, and corruption.
Now, the president's legal team says the impeachment case is not valid because it does not name an actual crime. Meanwhile, battle lines still being drawn over whether to allow witnesses to be called. A new Reuters Ipsos poll claims that 70% of Americans on both sides of the aisle believe the trial should include witness testimony.
I want to end this thing sooner rather than later.
The president's legal team expected to start presenting its case on Saturday.
Well, it was a beautiful day today. Here to tell us more of what we should expect tomorrow, Chief Meteorologist Dale Nelson.
Well, if you like today, you'll love tomorrow, as it was absolutely gorgeous this afternoon. As we take a look at the downtown area on our WeatherBug camera, we had lots of sunshine and very pleasant conditions as that front came in and swept out the humidity. Our morning low was 53 with all that fog, and the afternoon high almost 10 degrees above normal, 9 to be exact, at 76 degrees. What about tomorrow? In a few minutes, I'll have your complete forecast right here.
And coming up with new developments continuing to pop up, the state of the downtown area appears to be pretty good. We're going to have a progress report for you.
Also coming up, don't be alarmed if you see smoke coming from the Padre Island area tomorrow.